There's this ancient Japanese art form, and it's not about fixing what's broken. It's about celebrating it. It's about transforming scars into these beautiful veins of gold. It's called Kintsugi, and its story always begins with a single, sharp sound.
That sound. The sound of something precious, shattering. It feels like an ending, right? But what if it's actually a beginning? That single idea, that's the heart of Kintsugi, which literally means golden joinery. It's a whole philosophy that challenges us to look at damage completely differently, not as an end, but as a crucial part of a beautiful history.
The story most people tell about how this all started, well, like a lot of great stories, it begins with a powerful ruler and a moment of, let's say, deep disappointment.
So, picture this. It's 15th century Japan. The shogun, Ashikaga Yoshimasa, breaks his absolute favorite tea bowl. He's devastated, so he sends it all the way to China, hoping for some kind of miracle repair. But months later, when it comes back, he's just horrified.
See, the repair from China was functional. It was held together with these crude, ugly metal staples. I mean, sure, it held water, but its soul, its beauty, totally gone. So the shogun challenges his own craftsmen, find a better way. And what they came up with was just revolutionary. Instead of hiding the cracks, they highlighted them. They used lacquer mixed with powdered gold, turning those lines of fracture into the most beautiful part of the entire piece.
It's a great story, right? A perfect origin story. Maybe a little too perfect, because this is where the historical record throws a really fascinating curveball.
So you have to ask, did it really go down like that? Was the shogun actually disappointed by those metal staples? Well, the history books seem to tell a very, very different story.
The short answer? Not really. In fact, the evidence points to pretty much the exact opposite. The shogun wasn't upset by the repair. He and his court actually celebrated it.
Okay, so this is where it gets really interesting. The shogun's bowl, which has a name, the bakohan, was definitely repaired with staples, but nobody thought they were ugly. They were seen as a unique feature. People thought they looked like locusts, which is how the bowl got its name. And get this, its value actually went up because this visible, honest repair made it one of a kind.
And that just goes to show you, Kintsugi wasn't the only game in town. There were all sorts of ways to mend things back then. Sometimes, like with the bakohan bowl, the staples themselves were the art. Other times, even a really rough, amateurish repair was praised because it showed the character of the person who bothered to save it. And yeah, sometimes the goal was to make the repair totally invisible. So using gold, it was just one option among many.
So, look, whether the legend is 100% true or not doesn't really matter, because it points to a much, much deeper philosophy that took hold in Japanese culture. It's this idea of finding profound beauty, not in perfection, but in the story of survival.
And that philosophy has a name, Wabi-Sabi. It's all about appreciating things that are, well, imperfect, rustic, weathered, a little off-center. It's about seeing the beauty in the marks left by time, the quiet decay that reminds us nothing lasts forever. And Kintsugi? It's basically Wabi-Sabi in action.
Just think about the contrast for a second. In so much of the world, the ideal is perfection, right? Flawless, mass-produced, everything identical. And when something breaks, its value is gone. We just toss it. Wabi-Sabi offers a totally different way of seeing. It celebrates what's unique, what's aged, what's a little bit crooked. And when something breaks, it's not a tragedy. It's a chance to honor its journey.
And the process itself, wow, it's a kind of meditation. This is not a quick fix with some superglue. Real kintsugi can take months. It uses this natural lacquer called Urushi. And here's the crazy part. It's actually toxic when it's wet, kind of like poison ivy. The artist has to handle it with so much care and respect. And the gold? It's not just paint. It's this incredibly fine powder, gently, almost breathed, onto the wet lacquer, transforming that line of damage into a line of honor.
And it's this incredibly deep philosophy that's let Kintsugi become more than just a craft. It's become this powerful metaphor for our own lives, for resilience, for mental health.
The core idea is simple, but so powerful. Your own cracks, your heartbreaks, your failures, your losses, they aren't signs of weakness, they aren't things you should be ashamed of, they are just part of your story. They're the lines on the map that show where you've been.
So we can actually think about our own healing in the exact same way. Step 1. Acknowledge the break. You have to fully accept what happened instead of trying to deny it. Step 2. Gather the pieces. You mindfully look at the broken parts of your own story. And step 3. Apply the gold. You rebuild, but you do it intentionally, with self-compassion, with support, and with the wisdom you earned because you were broken.
And what's amazing is that modern psychology actually has a term for this exact thing. It's called post-traumatic growth. It's this well-documented idea that people who go through really tough times can experience positive changes as a result. You don't just bounce back to who you were. No, you develop new strengths, a deeper appreciation for life. You become more resilient. You literally become more beautiful for having been broken.
So what can we take away from all this? The lessons are just huge. Scars are not shameful. They're your history. Healing isn't about pretending it never happened. It's about weaving that experience into a new, stronger you. Your flaws can actually become your most valuable, beautiful parts. And maybe the biggest one, true strength isn't about never breaking. It's about having the courage to show where you've been put back together.
You know, in a world that's just obsessed with perfection, Kintsugi offers this completely revolutionary idea. Your history, your damage, is exactly what makes you you. So the question it leaves us with is a big one. What if we stopped trying so hard to hide our scars and instead decided to highlight them?